to the churches, Jesus said, "Follow me. No man cometh to Father but through me." When Jesus came to people, he said, "Follow me." He did not say, "Follow my disciples." He did not say, "Follow my apostles." He did not say, "Follow any other prophet," or "Wait for any other prophet." He said, "Follow me." It's such a simple word, two words. Follow me. It indicates that you're supposed to do something, and it indicates who you're supposed to do it with, or supposedly follow. So follow me. 2 words. Out of the whole Bible, which contains so many words, you look at the book and you think it's a thick book, and oh, it's so much to learn, it's so much to read. How can anyone follow all those things? But Jesus said, "Follow me." 2 words. Follow me. 2 words. Yet today, so many of you follow those who claim to be apostles, or you read the apostles, the Acts of Apostles, and you follow them, and you take them as a good example. You follow the apostles. You think that the way is apostles, but Jesus said, "I am the way." He did not say, "My apostles is the way." He did not say, "My disciples is the way." He said, I am the way. I am the way. You can't go to apostles, you can't follow the apostles and their acts and think that you're gonna follow the right way. You're not going the right way. Did the apostles, in the book of Acts, did the apostles rise from the dead? Question mark. I think not. Okay. Jesus said, "Follow me." It's so simple. Jesus said, "Go from village to village, find the righteous and stay there until it's not safe or good there anymore. Until the peace is no longer there, then the peace shall go back to you, right? And you move on to the next village. So how can you then sit in the same city or village all your life in a church building, thinking that you're following Jesus? You're not following Jesus. You're following someone else. Those who have fallen away. Jesus said, "Follow me." It might not mean that you will always be walking every day somewhere. It means that you don't know where you will go, when or where, and you will not know where you came from eventually, because he will take you on such a small, narrow path. Also that you don't want to go back, like, God did to Moses in the desert, to the people. They had to follow Moses and go almost in circles in the desert, so that they did not want to go back to Egypt. But it backfired for many of them. They complained and wanted to go back. The thing was that they were supposed to walk, so that they just wanted to go forward, not backwards. They were supposed to realize, well, it was even worse at the Egyptians. They were tormenting and being unjust. At least we have a just someone who takes care of us and follow us on the right path. And so you're supposed to be taken on a path that is Jesus' way, so that you come to love His way. You come to love His way, and you do it in a loving manner. He doesn't force you. However, if you don't like it and don't abide in it, you cannot follow. It says so. If you love even your mother or father more than me, you're not worthy of me. If you can't be my disciples, he says. It has to be so. He's not called the master only. He's called the Messiah. So that's a strong word, right? It's Messiah. That means that there's only one who can do it. There's only one who could do it. There's only one who ever could have done it. There's only one who will ever be a Messiah. There can't be two. It can't be 3. It can't be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's only one. That's what kind of the Messiah thing means, right? There could only be one. And that's why he said, follow me. Because he knows that everybody else has something they have been fooled about, or something they haven't overcome yet. Jesus said, I have overcome the world. Don't fear. So you can't follow anyone else. You can't sit in churches and follow priests. It even tells you to run from those who have long mantles. How can you sit in churches and claim that you follow Jesus? Jesus never told you to call yourself Christians. He did not give you such commands. If you follow anyone else's commandments, then you're not following Jesus, are you? You were not to do more or less than you were told of. So if someone else comes after Jesus and tells you to do more or tells you to do less, then you were not supposed to follow them. What did Paul do, for example? He told you to do less, and he told you to call yourself Christians. Jesus never said that. Paul tried to teach you that you're supposed to only love thy neighbor, like only love the people around you, like almost like love everybody. That's Buddhism. That's not the biblical way. Jesus didn't love the serpent. He come to put his serpent under his feet and crush his head. Comes with a sword out of his mouth. Comes with a sword and a fire. How can you relate that to loving everyone? Then the biblical sense that there are two forces, evil and good and evil, there are two seeds from God and from the truth and from the lie, from God and from the serpent. From the light and from the dark. There's two seeds. You can't mix, you're not supposed to mix them. And Jesus said, follow me. There is no other way. No other way. And it's not necessarily so that he just comes up with it. It's just that's how it's made. That's how it was made. And it's not just all fathers' decisions. It's actually man's decision. Man's sins has led to consequences that has become that way. You're not able to go anywhere else. Those roads will lead to destruction. The only way is through Jesus Christ. And first off, you say, well, you sit in your churches and say, yeah, it's just because of his blood. Yep. But you can't sit in a church and say that you follow him and believe in him. If you believe in him, you would follow him and you would do what he says that you're supposed to do. So step one, come out from the church buildings. And the church buildings or Satan will come to tell you that, well, you need to have this brotherlyhood communion with your brothers. And you're gonna have to think about, why do they want that? They want to lay their hands on you. They want to shake your hands every Sunday. They want to know where you are every Sunday. They want to dictate what you're gonna sing, what you're gonna do on Sundays or Saturdays, whatever day you're going to church. How is that following Jesus when he said that you're supposed to not know where you came from? Not knowing where you're going. Not to dictate what God shall do, what the Holy Spirit will do. Well, the churches dictate everything. They put up numbers of the Psalms that you're supposed to read. So they have total control over you. You go to a church and you're mind controlled. You go to a church building and you're mind controlled. They tell you what to sing, they tell you what to do. And when they tell you what to sing, You're not necessarily worshiping in spirit and truth, intuition, and in the now. You're being told, controlled. Maybe you didn't want to sing that song. Maybe you wanted to sing something else. You needed to say something else, but you were told in churches not to speak. Only the priest speaks. You're told which time to be there. They put up a paper of information, what they're gonna do the next couple of months even. When it says that you're not supposed to even say that, well, you're gonna go to another city and work and get some money there and stay there for a while and do this. Like planning, you're not supposed to do that because you're not supposed to know what's gonna happen tomorrow necessarily. Some things God shows you what's gonna happen, but you are not supposed to plan it in that sense. God gives you dreams and visions, what will happen and what you shall do. And you shall live in the now. As long as you're not living in the now, you're giving Satan power. Not power, but you, in a sense, a know about what you're doing. You're giving him a know about what the things you're doing. The same with the so-called revival movement in the world today. You're putting Jesus up like a show, and you're telling the whole world what he's doing and where he's gonna be and what he's gonna do. Jesus didn't do that. Jesus even told you, well, you're supposed to go into the secret and pray. Not be like the others who stand on the streets and pray long prayers, thinking that well, now Father has seen your good deeds. But instead be doing it in secret. So, follow Jesus. And you're gonna think like, well, why do you have the whole Bible? Why do you have the whole book if you're only supposed to follow what Jesus says? Well, if you didn't have everything else, you wouldn't know which things are not of Jesus, and you would start following that instead, like you're doing still today, because you haven't made a difference. You haven't looked it up that, well, they are not doing what Jesus says, and the ones before Jesus maybe did something wrong that Jesus not says. So you see, Jesus is the key. He's the way. He's the only way. You cannot follow anyone else.